12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
And we begin in South Phoenix, in a South Phoenix school district where 5 schools will be closing their doors after the Roosevelt School Board approved the decision in a packed meeting tonight. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. For 12 News at 10, I'm Caribe Divine.
And I'm Troy Hayden. Mark's off tonight. The move comes in response to a $5 million budget deficit the district is facing right now. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly at tonight's meeting where a lot of parents weren't very happy, Chase.
Troy Caribe, that's right. As you can imagine, many parents at tonight's meeting upset, not wanting their kids to go to a different school. But the board said numerous times that they've already made about $6 million in cuts to staffing and expenses. So closing these 5 schools was really their only solution to make up that $5 million shortfall.
Nobody wants to make this decision.
That's what every Roosevelt School District board member had to say. Still, in a 4-1 vote, the district voted to close down 5 schools. Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary, Maxino Bush Elementary, V.H. Lassen Elementary, C.J. Jorgensen Academy of Service Learning, and John R. Davis Elementary. All 1,500 students and staff who attend these schools will be moved to other district schools starting next academic year.
We are all about students and student outcomes and making sure that our students have the best opportunity possible at the future.
Board President Shelley Jackson claims they had no other choice. With more than 30 charter and private schools popping up in the area, a major decline in student enrollment, and lack of funding from the state legislature, it forced their hand.
If we didn't do this, we would have had to cut positions in all campuses instead of 5.
Terrian Ross says at first she was against the closure, but after attending multiple public discussions, she says it's what's best to keep the district going.
It's saddening, but you have to separate your feelings from the business.
Not everyone saw it that way. Brandy Eaton has kids who attend one of the 5 schools. She says with this change, getting her kids to their new school isn't going to be easy.
You want to take our children 3 times the distance to another school. That doesn't sit well with me.
Board member Lawrence Robinson was the only one who voted against the decision, believing it's only going to create more problems for the district.
When schools close, state data shows that 12% at a minimum of students don't return back to that district.
He even tried to delay the vote. Despite there being dozens of public meetings about this, he says there still needed to be more input from the community.
It's a no-brainer that we should try to find every solution possible, and we didn't. We went straight to closing the schools that are at the core of our mission.
The board president reiterated to me that no teachers will be losing their jobs. They will also be transferring over to those different schools. However, administrative staff like principals at those schools will not have a job. Those announcements will be made within the next couple months. As for the schools themselves, the board is still trying to figure out what exactly to do with those buildings. However, they did say they will be repurposed for other uses. We're live in South Phoenix tonight. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Chase, thank you for the report. Developing in Phoenix, police investigating a shooting that sent 2 people to the hospital. This happened just before 7:30 at an apartment complex. This is 43rd Avenue in Thunderbird. When officers got there, they found 2 men who had been shot. Police say their injuries are not life-threatening. Officers say that they have detained people related to the shooting, but they're still investigating exactly what happened.
New at 10, we're getting a look at new body cam video showing the moment that a DPS trooper was rear-ended on the side of a highway over the weekend. It happened during a traffic stop on the side of the southbound I-17 at Peoria Avenue on-ramp. The trooper was writing a speeding ticket in his patrol car when a truck rear-ended him. The driver of the truck was not impaired, but did admit to being distracted by his cell phone. Thankfully, the trooper escaped with just some minor neck pains.
This is a close call for a woman and 4 children. They had to be rescued from a canal in the West Valley this afternoon. So this is the scene, and you look at this and you go, oh no, this is not good. Very dramatic. 5 of them trapped in the car as it filled with water. Well, thankfully, Good Samaritans jumped in as soon as that crash happened, and they helped get those kids to safety, and everybody was able to walk away. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono has the story.
Witnesses tell us a woman was driving down McDowell and swerved out of the way of another vehicle, sending her through this wall and into the canal. A scary situation that could have ended much differently if not for complete strangers who jumped in the water to help.
I guess I'm still in shock.
1 minute, Destina Trevino was taking the trash out at her apartment near 95th Avenue and McDowell. The next,
It was a big boom.
she was jumping into the canal to help complete strangers.
That's all I could do was just jump in there and help.
Witnesses tell 12 News a mom in this SUV with 4 young children in the car was driving on McDowell when she swerved to avoid another vehicle, ending up in the water. Calm from the surface, but fast-moving currents below, and the family was trapped inside.
Mom is holding baby number 1 out the window. Water is falling in, and my first instinct is to just jump in.
Trevino said only 1 window was down, so the mom worked to pass her children through it out to Trevino, all while she tried to navigate the challenging water while the car was drifting.
She's like, the water is filling up fast. I don't know what I'm going to do. No one had rope, and everyone was just kind of shocked.
I noticed that there was a girl, and like the driver was just holding the girl out the window.
Stephen Pierce was skateboarding in the area, and before he knew it, he was jumping in the water too.
I'm a dad, so I just saw the kid and I was like, someone needs to get in the damn water.
Struggling himself as he held on to one of the children.
If she wasn't so brave, I don't know what would happen, because that little girl we were both choking on the same water at the same time.
One by one, these Good Samaritans able to rescue the family.
The last baby was the struggle, though, for sure. I just kept seeing her face go underwater.
With the exception of some scrapes and cuts, everyone walked away from the scene unharmed. As officials work to clean up the remnants from the traumatic rescue, everyone involved is just thankful to be okay.
I'm absolutely grateful. We were seconds away from it not being so great.
It's the holidays, and like her sister, she gave me a hug, told me like thank you for saving her sister and her kids. You know, I couldn't imagine losing them.
And the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office is now investigating to try to determine exactly what caused this incident. We're in Tolleson. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Yeah, a good ending to that story, Bianca. Thank you. All right, so is it going to be a good ending to our week? Is it too early to talk about the weekend? I don't think so, Crystal.
Never. Let's start on a Monday with that kind of talk. Yeah. We get to hang on to those above average temperatures this weekend, but a quick time out from the temperature talk. This is going to have you do a double take. This is video captured just minutes ago and shared with me on the Loop 202 and the 60. Rain, is that you? And then you may be thinking, Crystal, you're getting punked here. No, there's actually rain reaching out for the valley right now in the form of some very spotty light showers. You could see it right there where that video was taken, and it's continuing to move on towards Gilbert. We've got some speckles out around Scottsdale, over towards Ahwatukee, and this kind of activity will continue for about another couple of hours here, and it could even come with a quick burst of some wind. Looking at a little bit of a bigger picture here, you could see where those showers snuck away from. Most of that activity really centered around Globe here. Casa Grande also got tangled up in some rain and rumblers, as you could see, some lightning as well. We're not expecting much more rain out of these showers, but they will continue to carry on in far eastern Arizona tomorrow. But in the valley tomorrow, we're just going to see sunshine dripping out of those skies and another above average day that'll max out on the cusp of 80 degrees.
All right, Crystal, thank you. Now from the I-Team, a brutal Gilbert group home murder case finally has a conclusion after almost 4 years. The I-Team's Erica Stapleton has covered this case extensively and was in the courtroom today for sentencing.
Christopher Lambeth was sentenced to 2 decades in prison, and the mood in the courtroom was somber, with gaps in mental health care at the center of this case.
After years of fighting in court,
0 State versus Lambeth on for sentencing.
Christopher Lambeth is going to prison. This all started back on April 12, 2021, at the Tilda Manor group home in Gilbert, where police found Lambeth bludgeoned his housemate, Stephen Howells, to death. Police records show staff at the group home were locked out of the house when the murder likely occurred, despite needing to provide 24/7 supervision.
So you guys left the house without any keys?
Lambeth was already convicted of murder in 2007 for killing his grandparents near Tucson. He was found guilty except insane and sentenced 25 to life to the Arizona State Hospital for treatment. But a now-defunct state board approved his release to the community just 9 years later, and he was eventually placed at Tilda Manor.
The offense was committed in a heinous, cruel, and depraved manner, Your Honor.
After Lambeth's arrest,
One detained.
He was booked at the Lower Buckeye Jail, where he was caught on camera beating up another inmate.
And then all of a sudden, he attacked you by punching you with closed fists in the face.
In the face.
He took a plea deal for 2 charges, second-degree murder in the group home death and aggravated assault in the jail attack. Throughout court proceedings, Lambeth expressed interest in trying to pursue a guilty except insane defense or plea, which meant he could have been sentenced again to the Arizona State Hospital. But ultimately, Lambeth agreed to 20 years in prison under the plea deal.
This is a tragic case.
His defense making sure the judge notes Lambeth's history of serious mental illness before giving her order.
You shall be sentenced to a period of 20 calendar years.
When Lambeth was asked to speak, he spoke for less than a minute, sharing some words that didn't seem to be related to the case.
All the way through, one way through.
Records show a relative of Stephen Howells wrote to the court, saying in part that the system they relied on to help Stephen ultimately failed him, and that it became a major contributor to the destruction of not only Stephen's life, but Christopher Lambeth's too. The relative closes by saying in part, "We pray the defendant gets the care he needs."
The group home at the center of this case ultimately shut down. Court records show Stephen Howell's family sued the owners, who settled for an undisclosed amount. The lawsuit is ongoing against the state of Arizona and other service providers. Erica Stapleton, 12 News.